Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon, my suave and sassy senior viewers. I'm Sonia Dunbar, affectionately known as the Geriatric Tooth Fairy. Welcome to my new talk show, Suave and Sassy Seniors with Sonia. Are you ready to be blessed with some more golden nuggets for life? Well, we have an amazing guest here with us today. She's a nurse practitioner, and I will let her explain a little bit more about her life. Her name is Debbie Overland. Overland? Did I say it
Yes,
right?
ma'am. That's it.
Hey,
Perfect.
Debbie, thank you for being with us. How are you today?
I am doing great, Sonia. How are you doing? You look beautiful.
You look amazing yourself. Thank you for being on my show. So you're a suave, you're a sassy senior. Do you mind sharing your age?
Oh, I know, 64. Mhm.
Oh, you teetering on the 65, so you're not
I,
quite at the 65 yet.
no,
And
no,
you look
not yet.
amazing.
Oh, thank you. I feel young. I feel good. I've had a good, I think good genes, maybe. I don't know, but thank you. Thank you.
Now, um, Debbie, you are a nurse practitioner, right?
Yes, madam
And so what type of field do you work in with nursing?
I'm a family nurse practitioner, and I work in a family clinic. And I'm kind of towards specializing with treatment of people addicted to opiates. It's
Mm,
been a major problem, and it's getting worse with the COVID thing going on, the corona. I enjoy working with people that are trying to, get their lives back together, and also the other, family practice stuff. I love it.
Now, let me ask you about this opioid because that is really a huge problem right now. Me
Yeah.
being a dental hygienist, we have to be
Oh yeah.
aware of everything that's going on with opioids as well. So,
Yes.
do you see do you see a lot of seniors that have opioid addictions, or is it more?
Yes, I mean there's a lot of adults. I think one of my patients is up to 80 years of age. They have Medicare and so on, and a lot of times they started with a pain syndrome prescription and just went on. I mean, and then the younger folks started maybe with a pain tablet or grandma's tablets or something, and then they went on, to buying opiates and benzos, et cetera, on the street, and then switching to heroin. So that's kind of I mean, that's not scientific. It's just anecdotal about what we see in clinic. But,
That is such a sad area to
oh,
be in.
it is horrible. I mean, it really is. I'm never surprised with the stories that I hear that family has or hasn't been supportive, or mom's taking the medicine or dad's taking. It's like
You
they're
hear
picking
all
up the
type of
buck.
stories, don't you?
Oh, girl, I'm telling you, yeah. So, yeah, I enjoy it. And I got my little special lives. I work with young adults that are transitioning to adulthood. And then I've
Explain that.
got,
What do you mean? What do you mean with
uh,
that?
well, if you've met, for example, if you met one person with autism, you met one person with autism. I mean, because everybody's different, just like all the rest of us. And but sometimes you need a little help in different services to get by and supervision or whatever. And I try to help parents put that together because there's tons of resources, but again, each case is a little different. So
Each
that's
case
my
is a little
side.
different. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you work with opioids, special needs,
Mm-hmm.
autism. That's really huge now. I mean, now that I think about
Oh, yeah.
autism, I wonder, like when I was younger in the 70s, how many people actually did have autism, but we didn't
Mhm.
even really know of what it was to diagnose it. So I'm just so
Exactly.
glad that there's resources out there for those
Mhm.
particular situations.
It's getting so common, and just again, not to dwell on the corona, the COVID too much, but I just don't know how people are getting by around the country with homeschooling and then transitioning, and our special needs young adults who are like, what in the world? Actually, a lot of times they're so strong because they've had such an uphill battle. They're actually doing better than most of us. So anyway, but have you treated a special needs person or adult or child or anything before?
Let me tell you, now I am what you call a serial entrepreneur. And before I had my mobile dental clinics, I
Uh-huh.
when my children were younger, I opened up a daycare center, and
Oh, wow.
it ended up becoming a chain of daycare centers when we had about 7 of them.
Oh,
And then from there,
wow.
we opened up a school. But the school, everyone had an IEP. So we did
Uh-huh.
have some children with autism
Mhm.
there and special needs.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I work with them on the academic level.
Wow.
And those they're some of the sweetest people, but you have to
Yeah.
know it. They get stuck on something. And I remember one little boy, Luke. He had a dinosaur fetish forever. So
Um,
when we learned to teach him everything from math to alphabets, we had to use dinosaurs. So that was a good
um,
thing. So, but I did the special needs there, and I've also worked with special needs in doing providing oral care because a lot of people with special needs need
oh,
that treatment. You know, they have gum issues with
exactly.
medicine, and they have a lot of trauma with falling
Mhm.
and things like that, or just uh, and,
Yeah.
and they want a special person to work with them. So I've had experience
Mm.
with special needs.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
Miss Debbie, are you married?
No, I'm divorced and very happily divorced. Was happily married for 34 years and very happily
Wow.
divorced now. Yeah, a long time, long time. It was a tough decision. It took about 10 years to make that decision. A little slow sometimes. But you know how you start that wishful, that mystery thinking that I think things are going to get better. I think whatever. And, both of us are at fault. So, but anyway, it ended up working out. I don't think it ever works out for the kids. I think people say, "Oh, I did it for the kids because it was in their best interest." I think that's baloney. I mean, I guess but I'm very, very happy now. So it worked out real good.
And that is so
Like,
brave because I know people who I was married 20 years and that was a big decision to divorce. But I couldn't even, and I was, one of the big things I was saying was, I don't want to waste those years. I wasted 20 years of my life. But one morning
yeah,
I woke up and I was like, I didn't waste anything. I lived every day of 20 years. I had
yeah,
three amazing children,
yeah,
and my marriage wasn't all horrible. So I didn't
yeah.
waste
Right,
time,
right,
but sometimes that season is over. And sometimes we don't
right.
know when a season ends in our life. And when it ends, we have to let it
Exactly.
in. But I couldn't even imagine being married 34 years to someone. I mean, and I mean it's like our family, you just how do you
Yeah.
just walk away from that?
Well, it's tough, of course, and like also, I mean, what mother's not going to say their children are not just absolutely fabulous, but I do believe in keeping them as much as possible out of divorce. We didn't do any of that. You go tell your mother this, or you go tell your, yeah, we don't, that's just horrible. But we got through, and it was, when you have a divorce, when you've been in a community for a number of years, and especially that number of years, and have a certain lifestyle or whatever, been blessed, then it's a community divorce because there's, people start taking sides, whether they mean to or not. I would see people in the grocery store nearby where I had lived, and sometimes they were like looking straight. I was like, Betty, 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 and this kind.
They
It's
don't
like,
they feel
okay.
uncomfortable. They don't know what to say.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I don't want to say nothing. It's like, well, I heard she was crazy. So I've heard I'm dead. I'm not. Well, I was kind of dead, but I've heard, I was committed or had a nervous break, whatever. But, the stories are out there. It's like the telephone game. People like the sensationalism. So was your divorce pretty okay, or was it
No, I
hostile?
think it was quick. And then the kids suffered the most. I think divorce is harder on the kids.
I
So
do too.
yeah, but it was the best decision I made for me. I had to make a decision for me. And as
Yes,
women, we have to do. I mean, we love our children, we love life, we love everything, we love our
sure.
in-laws sometimes. But at the end of the day, I only have one life to live, and I have to live my best life. I can't live for anyone
Absolutely.
else. I can't. So it was the
Mm.
best decision for me. So
Yes.
and
Yeah.
I love where I am now. I'm God, especially with an amazing new husband, and I feel good about it. Yeah.
Oh,
So, Debbie,
wonderful.
you think you'll ever remarry?
I don't know if I would remarry, but I do have a wonderful, wonderful significant other boyfriend. I'm not sure what you call it, who's absolutely awesome. And both my kids like him. They're not living with us or anything. They're both adults, but they've met him and they've spent time around him. So, and he's got two adult children, so it's fabulous. They're just we're having a good time. He brings all kinds of new adventures, with him, and is very tolerant of me being obsessive about health issues and everything. So and we both enjoy music. So it worked out. It's kind of the simple life that I felt like I was ready for. I mean, not simple like bored, but simple like things are not so convoluted and or so there's not so much pressure, to so ladies, just go ahead and take care of like just like Sonia said, go ahead and take care of yourself because nobody's gonna take care of you. I mean, you know what I mean? We gotta take care of ourselves.
Exactly. So now, Debbie, you're 64.
Yes, ma'am.
You've been a nurse practitioner for a while. Do you plan on retiring soon or continue to work or?
Well, I tried to retire, and then I found I was volunteering to death, and plus my little special needs, special lives thing. So, but I went back to work to keep my license and credentials and so on, and I really enjoy what I do, and it's part time, and so I think it's the best about to have a schedule. And also be able to say, I cannot come to that lunch, and I am so sorry. I will be working. I mean, they shouldn't share that little, but rather than people saying, well, you said you would be coming and helping us with the whatever, they can't really say much about that.
Because you're working. You can't be at all the functions. That's all right. What state are you in?
Texas. Texas.
Ah, I love Texas. What city?
Oh, San Antonio.
Nice, nice,
Yeah.
nice.
It's
Texas,
a big,
huh?
big small town. It's like a big small town. Very, very comfortable place to live.
Great, great, great. Now, what we always try to do, Debbie, because you are a nurse practitioner, you've been
Mhm.
one for how many years? A long time, right?
Oh, 30 plus, yeah.
Right, so you know a lot. What type of nugget could you leave us? Just a little drop of wisdom that you can leave to people we can share and tuck it away in our little sock or pocket just to remember some wisdom. Because being on the earth 64 years, either you learn some things or you made enough mistakes that you won't do those things again. So it's still a
Yeah,
learning.
just the
Exactly.
latter.
Exactly.
As long as you don't keep repeating them, I guess that's pretty good.
Exactly. So do you
Mhm.
have anything that you can leave with us
Oh,
so to share?
yes, absolutely. I've learned too late to, not too late, but later in life to really put myself as a priority and take care of myself. And I still struggle with that. But I think it's a commonality that a lot of women that I know have where they just take care of everybody else around them, friends, relatives, whatever. And then they're flocked. They just crumble at the end of the day. So I think just put more time into yourself and try to balance fun stuff and ask for help and those kinds of things. So just basically self care. That's my big thing that I tell younger women when they ask or are interested. So yeah,
Exactly. Self care. Well, thank you, Miss Debbie, for that nugget. Self care is so important. And I always say, only this is the only body I got to get through this journey in life here. So I need to take care of it. I need
yeah,
to watch how I exercise, what I put into it. And the biggest part is that mental.
yes, ma'am. Yes,
You got to get this
yes.
lined up right.
Oh, yes. Even with our patients have addiction problems, writing prescriptions and and doing urine drug tests or whatever, that's kind of the basic easy stuff. What we insist on is behavioral therapy because that's what will put miles on their recovery basically. So I
Exactly.
totally agree. I always tell them, I know we're doing the easy part here, but you have to have that therapy, and you got to bring me a card if just to have some accountability or teach
Trust
some
but
accountability.
verify. Trust but verify.
Yes, yes, ma'am, 100%.
Well, Debbie,
100%.
thank you for chatting with us today
Oh,
on the Suave and Sassy Seniors. We enjoyed your nugget of self care, which is extremely important. As women, we put everybody first: kids, job, animals. You think about it, we put us first, but we have to put ourselves first. We have to value ourselves, and that is so important to keep this mental healthy. That is super duper important. So thank you,
let's,
Debbie, for
let's
being
put the oxygen on ourselves first, just like an airplane.
Say it again. Say it again, Debbie. Say it again.
Let's put the oxygen on ourselves first, please. It's like I said, it's hard to do, but you're exactly right, Sonia.
Absolutely, absolutely. But you know what, Debbie? I know we got to go, but I'm going to say this. Now that my kids are grown, it's getting a little easier for me to put the
Oh,
oxygen on myself first, because the house is empty. I know when you have younger kids running around, those little legs, and it seems like they demand to be first. But even if
mm,
you're in that situation, you still carve out some time to love on yourself,
mm,
because
mm.
sometimes we put up so many people first before us, we forget how to be first. We forget
Exactly.
how to take that pampering, even if it's a 5 minute shower by yourself, just with music
Mm,
playing and you're doing a crazy dance, whatever that is, it's important to put it first.
absolutely. Could not agree more. Very well said.
Well, thank you again and again. This is Sonia Dunbar, and thank you for joining me and my special guest, Debbie, the nurse practitioner, today. Join us every other Thursday at 1 p.m. for more golden nuggets of life from our seniors. Until next time, keep it suave and sassy. Bye from
Bye
Sonia and
bye.
Debbie.
Mm.